this video off, I wanted to play the Memphis Grizzlies here. This is a home game for us. And the Grizzlies are a young, up-and-coming team. Full of young star talents. They kind of seemed like the exact team that we'd be competing against. So I wanted to see how we stack up. And right off the bat, this move by Duren. He puts in so much work in this game, which is why I've titled this video the way I've titled it. Jalen Duren is a beast. Because honestly, I was skeptical at first of putting Duren in the starting lineup and bringing Wemby off the bench, but just watch some of the highlights I put in from this game, and you guys will see why. We give up that wide open three, but he does get the rebound there. Passes it up to Grimes. Out to Fox, marking it in the corner. Doesn't hit. But look at that putback. Just absolutely disgusting putback from Jalen Duren with the hand in his face. And he plays great defense too. Look at this. Poof. Goes up, disrupts the shot. I don't think that counts as a block, but then he gets in behind the D and just another big dunk. Jalen Duren honestly is just like a physically dominant force on this team, and definitely extremely important to us. And it makes us giving up Alperen Sengun a little easier to swallow. And look at that block on Ja Morant. De'Aaron Fox with the tough layup. And we open up an 8-point lead to start the game. The Grizzlies have to call timeout, but if you guys remember in the first video, we ended up trading Alperen Sengun because we just had such a log jam at center. We have Wembanyama, we have Duren, and we had Sengun. And I made the decision to keep Duren and trade Sengun because he got us, a better return. Another bucket for Duren there, and honestly, with Duren's performance both in this game and then throughout this season, I think we really did make the correct choice. I mean, Sengun's an amazing player, don't get me wrong, but I think we made the right choice for our team needs here. Morant driving. Morant does absolutely cook us this game, though. He's basically like the only guy on the Grizzlies who does anything this whole game. Out to Markkanen. Got the little elbow three, and he finally hits that. That was like his second or third attempt, I think. Bucket, miss, out to Grimes, pull up. That's a brick, but Duren gets the rebound over three people, and then just bullies. Look at this. Boom. Push him out the way. Dunks on Triple J, and on that other player there, I think Xavier Tillman. Just a monster. Wemby gets absolutely blown by right there. But look at this cherry pick up to Jalen Duren. He's getting all the highlights this game. Just way too fast for Steven Adams. Gets in behind the D. Now Cam Johnson comes in and gives us some solid minutes off the bench. Cam Johnson's a weird player for me because we signed him and then immediately traded for a starter to replace him, basically, with Lauri Markkanen. But Cam Johnson coming off the bench is just like a solid scoring threat. That he's like a 3-level scorer, not great defense. But look at that tough bucket in the paint right there. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with Johnson long term. We have him on a long contract, but he kind of makes more money than what he's worth production wise, so I don't know. He's kind of like a weird odd man out on my roster at the moment, but something we'll have to look at later. Tough shot, misses. Cam with the rebound. Up to Porter Jr. Almost gets stripped, gets the ball back. Porter Jr. drives, Step back with the left hand. He takes that snatch back into the left-handed finish. Kevin Porter Jr. is like the perfect bench point guard for this team. He's good enough to be a starter. But then there's our starter right there, De'Aaron Fox with the tough bucket. Right in the rim. I really think the only thing this team is like really missing is like another knockdown shooter. We have Markkanen, but really beyond that, we have a lot of guys who score at the rim. Into Wemby, he gets blocked. Wemby gets blocked by Jaren Jackson Jr. It's crazy. I've never seen Wembanyama get blocked before with that crazy wingspan that he's got. Then Morant, just the tough little elbow jumper there. Like, Morant is unstoppable in this game. Aldama gets in behind the defense, quick little slam there. Just boom, gets right past Triple J. Honestly, in 2K23, Ja Morant feels kind of like the Luka Doncic from 2K22. Oh, look at that swat by Wembanyama. That's such a massive block. He was basically at the rim. It was cocked back, and Wemby just gets his fingertips on it. Massive block. Isaiah Joe misses at the halftime, and we go into halftime up 16, 23-39 in favor of the Honolulu Breeze. Here's some first half highlights, but like I was saying, Ja Morant, I don't know if you guys remember 2K22, Luka would basically win MVP every single season. He was like a 99 by the second year. That's like what they did with Ja Morant in 2K23. In 2K23, Ja always wins MVP. He becomes a 99 by the second season, and like the Grizzlies are always in like the finals or like deep in the playoffs just simply because of him. It's really weird. But look at that, Jalen Duren, top performer. For us, 19 points, couple rebounds, couple assists, Markkanen 3, bang, to start the third quarter. But then Morant, he comes down, answers back with a 3 of his own. 15 points on 70% field goal. Like I said, he's basically the only guy on their team doing anything. De'Aaron Fox driving the paint. Look at that tough bucket over multiple defenders. 8 points on 4 of 4 plus 13. De'Aaron Fox, honestly, such a beast. I forget who we traded to get him. I think it was Klay Thompson is who we traded to get De'Aaron Fox. But honestly, he's been such a great player for us. Morant with the ball. Look at that side, like fading 3. Like I said, he's like the Luka. They made him way too OP in this game. But who else but Duren gets into the paint, and then the behind the head slam. Just a crazy move from Jalen Duren there. Absolute beast. Fox driving out to Cam Johnson for 3, brick. Wemby rebound back to Cam, bang for 3, and we have a 14-point lead. But yeah, Memphis does come back a little bit here, but like I said, it's basically all Ja Morant. Out to Sharp, 3 in Ja Morant's face. Shaedon Sharp, who my original plan was to completely build this team around Shaedon Sharp before we got the Wembanyama pick. I gave up a lot of assets to get Sharp. Great, yeah, Shaedon, I mean, he still is like a key point of this team, a key focus of this team, but winning that #1 overall pick when we were predicted to get like 10th or 11th or something definitely changed my plans a little bit. Into Duren again, and just a nasty slam, 22-point lead now. But this is the end of the game, just the last few seconds here. They're dribbling the ball out. Final score 82-60 in favor of the Honolulu Breeze. like I said, this was pretty much for us to see how we stacked up to a team that was in a similar position as us. And we know we can hang with this team. We know we can beat this team. So we're not scared or intimidated by the Memphis Grizzlies. I think we have a deeper roster. They probably have the better top-end talent with Ja Morant, but we have a deeper roster and we have better players further down the depth chart. And we have Jalen Duren, this absolute beast who just slams the ball down on anything that gets in his way. I'm honestly so happy that we kept him. Checking the game stats here, Duren with 24, 14, and 2 and a block. Markkanen, second leading scorer, 13, 2, and 2. Fox with 12, 1, and 9 assists. Cam Johnson with 7 points, 2 rebounds, and assists. So, I mean, just a massive game from Duren, but everybody else contributed pretty well also. We're here at the Christmas break. I want to look at our team stats. De'Aaron Fox leading us in points, 19.5. Right behind him, though, Jalen Duren. Duren over Wembanyama. Wemby is 14.7. Then Kevin Porter Jr., bench guard, Markkanen, 12.7. Sharp, 9.5. I'm a little bit concerned because, like I said, the plan was to build around Sharp. He's only scoring 9.5 points per game. You can see he's progressing, but he's down. He had 13.4 last season, down to 9.5 this season. He also has fewer rebounds, he has fewer assists, fewer steals, so I don't know. You have Gary Harris, our bench minimum contract guard, outscoring both Cam Johnson and Aldama. So honestly, that is a little concerning for me because we have Cam Johnson on a 3-year deal and he's being outscored by a vet min bench guard who shouldn't even be getting that many minutes. He was only playing in injury time. De'Aaron Fox leads us in assists and steals, which is awesome. Blocks is Duren, then Wemby. Fox leads us in turnovers, obviously. Field goal percentage is Duren because he just dunks everything. But yeah, like I said, Cam Johnson, that's a bit of a concern. Shaedon Sharp, his stats going down is a bit of a concern. And I had to come back here and check on Grimes because I was kind of shocked. Quentin Grimes is our starting 2-guard, and he's scoring 5.4 points per game as a starting shooting guard. And that was like a big trade we made to get Quentin Grimes. He's a 6'5" 2-guard, and he is not producing. And I think it's interesting that both Quentin Grimes and Shaedon Sharp's production is down, and they're both shooting guards. So I don't know if maybe our shooting guards just aren't getting the touches that our point guards and our centers are getting because we have such dominant centers and point guards. Maybe they're just not getting the ball enough. But both of our shooting guards are slumping this season. So I'm seeing if I can get anything for Quentin Grimes because he's still young. He's on an expiring contract. So I'm looking around. It looks like we can get a first for him from a few teams, but I kind of want a productive player because I feel like I have all my core pieces right now. I have Wembanyama, I have Fox, I have Porter, Sharp, I have Duren. Like, I have my long-term core pieces that my team is based around. I don't really need to get any big splashes in the draft. I need to supplement my big 3, big 4 players. This one's interesting to me, Brandon Boston, just because he's tall, 6'6", and at 11.5 points per game, he's scoring more than Quentin Grimes. We also get a pick from him, but ultimately decide not to get Boston because he's going to need a new contract. As you can see, $1.9 million, so he's making this season, but he doesn't have any options. He's expendable in our organization role. And looking at his scoring, looking at his tendencies here to see, if he shoots a lot. His shot 3 is below average for his position. So I ultimately decided that statistically he's really not better than Grimes, even though he's scoring more points, but that's probably just because he's on a worse team and getting more touches. I ultimately decided not to trade Grimes yet. I'm going to give him until the trade deadline. If he can turn his season around and start scoring more, then he can stay. But if he's still slumping at the trade deadline, then I'm going to try and get something for him at that point. Just because right now there's nothing that I really feel like is a massive upgrade for us. So we're simulating up here. I want to take a look at the all-star captains, just so I can see who's on the team. And the captains this year are Luka Doncic and Giannis Antetokounmpo. So I do an auto draft. Unfortunately, none of the Honolulu players made the all-star game this year. Got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in there, Pascal, Triple J back for his second time. Cade Cunningham is now a 3-time All-Star, which is crazy. But you know what I'm noticing? There's no LeBron James in the All-Star game. So I'm gonna go look and see if he retired and I just missed it. But no, he's injured. 89 overall, he is hurt. But even though he's hurt, and this is the crazy thing, he's putting up 26.9 points per game. And LeBron is actually hurt in real life right now too, so that's kind of interesting. Looking at our player stats now at the trade deadline, Wemby has overtaken Duren. He's up to an 85 overall now too. Porter Jr. still up there marking, and Sharp has increased his scoring a bit, which is really nice to see. But Quentin Grimes' points per game have actually gone down. He was at like 5 point something, now he's down at 4.8, still being outscored by Gary Harris. I thought Grimes would be like backing up Shaedon Sharp, or even potentially like, competing with him for that starting spot, but he just hasn't done it. Around the league, John Morant leading the league in points, Doncic, Tatum, SGA, Bradley Beal, kinda shocking, Booker, Mitchell, Edwards, Steph, Trae Young, Zach LaVine, injured LeBron, KD, Embiid, Hero at 15, above Damian Lillard. But I swear Damian Lillard gets no respect in 2K. Like, he just had a 71-point monster game. 2K never respects him. Looking at the NBA standings, Grizzlies lead the West. We are right behind them. We're 5.5 games behind the Grizzlies. Like I said, the Grizzlies, John Morant is super, super overrated in 2K. He's Luka from last year. And the Mavs are out of the playoffs. I'm looking at their roster. They got Porzingis back somehow. I'm not sure how they got Porzingis. Kyrie is no longer there. Christian Wood is no longer there. Golden State, Steph has shifted to the 2 guard. They got Rui Hachimura. Draymond isn't there anymore. And again, they have the Trailblazers down at 16th. This is what I'm saying, when the Trailblazers get no respect in this game. Also, Jeremy Grant's not in the team anymore. In the East, being led by the Atlanta Hawks, with basically this year's roster for the Hawks somehow being the Eastern Conference leaders. The Cavs are in the 2 spot. Wizards at 3, which everybody knows that's fake. They have the Bucks down at 11th, with basically this year's Bucks team. This is basically the Bucks team that won a championship, and they have them at 11th. Just super, super weird. The way 2K has certain teams just way under or overperform compared to real life is always weird. But with Quentin Grimes just completely underperforming, not living up to what he's supposed to be able to be as potentially our starting shooting guard. I'm looking here at Bones Island, 16.6 points per game. He's an 80 overall, so he's an upgrade. He's a little bit shorter at 6'2", but same age. Way more points per game. He's still on the up and up, so he's an 80, but he's gonna keep getting better. We have a team team option on him for next year for $4 million. So we get a pick, plus we get to upgrade our shooting guard position. Because yeah, like Quentin Grimes, he was our starter year one. So yeah, I think he shared starts with Sharp. He should be pushing for that starting spot over Sharp right now, but he's just not at all capable of doing that, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's his tendencies. I don't know if it's intangibles or something like that. We have this R.J. Hampton trade, but a first overall pick in 2027 does not really help us get better right now. Denny Ofty is interesting, but he's going to want a lot of money this offseason. Beaucamp, we have 2-year team option on him, and he's a shooting guard small forward, so he's a bit big for a shooting guard if we play him there. But 5.4 points per game, he's just as bad as Quentin Grimes. Like, he's just as bad. Amen Thompson, he's getting, pretty good points per game. 6'6", so he's big. He can play the 1 and the 2. But I'm looking to add some more shooting here, and he seems like more of a defensive guard. So ultimately I end up taking this pick, Nashawn Highland, who is Bones Highland. He has a better 3-point shot than Quentin Grimes. He's better at drawing fouls. He's an upgrade at the 2-guard spot, and we get a 2nd-round pick. That's a no-brainer. So now we have Kevin Porter Jr. starting, Shaden Sharp at the 2, Cam Johnson at the 3, Duren starting at the 4 with Wemby at the 5. With Aldama and Fox hurt, Markkanen, McDaniels, Bones Highland off the bench. And I think that's a pretty good squad. I think that's a pretty good rotation. Bones Highland is our 3rd leading scorer. If you look at that, McDaniels, I'm kind of looking at him a bit because I feel like he might be underperforming. Like Cam Johnson's only at 6.5 points per game, which is ridiculous. He's tied with Gary Harris, which is, I don't know, just crazy to me. But do I end up making another trade here? I don't recall that. Oh yeah, Gary Harris, because he's on this 1-year expiring deal. And he's performed very well for us in the limited amount of starts he's gotten. Like, he's outperforming some of our rotation players. So I want to see if there's just anything out there for him. A 1st in Maxi Kleber, but Mojave King. But I feel like Mojave King isn't really going to turn into anything. And that's more rim scoring. And I need to, move away from scoring at the rim, get more perimeter play. Dean Wade, I do think about this one for a while. Dean Wade, he has a pretty decent 3-point shot for a 4 spot, that power forward role. He's like a good scoring power forward, but he's only scoring 4 points per game this year. And I don't know how that's really possible. And so I feel like he won't really help us. And, Aldama, he's on the mend right now, so. But that big contractor, Cam Johnson, is starting to look bad for us. I feel like I might have messed up that free agency spot. So I'm just seeing if there's anything out there for him. This Buddy Hield deal's interesting. But Buddy Hield's kind of old. Duncan Robinson's on a terrible contract. Ultimately, I decide to just keep Cam Johnson. End of the season now, Ja wins MVP. Victor Wembanyama, Rookie of the Year, 17.6 points, 8.8 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.5 blocks. Olynyk, 6-man. Giannis wins DPOY. Mark Williams for Most Improved. But yeah, Ja Morant, 35.8 points, 6.6 boards. Like I said, in 2K23, he is the new Luka Doncic. Looking through the All-NBA teams, none of my guys made any teams except for the All-Rookie with Wemby, which I don't really understand how that's possible. We're the 3 seed in the West and we don't have any All-NBA players. But we do finally make the playoffs in the first round. We're facing the Pelicans, and I am not scared of this roster. roster. Ingram's down at 86. I thought they actually traded CJ McCollum, but look at this. CJ McCollum is down at a 76 overall. He has regressed so hard. He's not even playing for them. He's not even in their rotation. So that is that for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Next video we'll be taking on the Pelicans in the first round of the playoffs. I might just do all the playoffs. I don't know, but we'll see. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this almost every single day. Until next time, guys.